Okay, so we're going to be talking about how to do the report or the write-up for the stocks. Okay, so go to Classroom, everybody. Okay. And then you'll see that the Biotech stock report uploaded here. That's where you're going to upload it when you're done. Okay, so for now, there are 2 documents attached. Go ahead and open both of those documents. The rubric looks like this, but it may be a little bit confusing right now. I'll go back to that later. So the second document is really writing the report. And this is in a scaled down version of what I gave you that first day when we did the stock report, when I gave you all the what to do and how to pick your stocks and what to write about your stocks in your engineering notebook. That's this, but with the beginning stuff cut out. Okay, so we are at this point. After about a month of monitoring, create a final report for your stock portfolio using Google Docs. Your report has to include all this stuff. All right, first it says Google Docs. So let's make a Google Doc. Open a blank page and go to your Drive or wherever you get to documents and make a new document. No, it's just me. And let's title it with your last name, like we usually do, B78, which is our class period, and let's call it Biotech Stock Report. Put your last name there. Yeah, so you're being recorded on the video, right? You know that. Okay, good. And so, let's go ahead and put your first, report. And it's put your first and last name. This is me, but you put your name, don't put mine. The due date, which is for you, Friday, which is Friday, December 2, we'll just put. And maybe we should put in there B78. Okay. If you would like it to be on the right-hand side, you can always do that over here. Okay, so this will be where you write your report. To title it, let's give it the title of your stocks. So you should have your spreadsheet open with your stock data. Remember, you have one company, the second company, and then you probably have an overall tab. So my 2 companies were Heska and La Jolla Pharmaceutical. So I'm going to call my lab report Heska and La Jolla stock report. How's that? You can make it bigger, underline it, change the color or font, have fun with this. This is really the only part that you get to kind of make pretty, because the rest of it, I want it to be legible. So if you really, really want to use a fun font, now is the time, because the rest of the font, something I can read, please, like lobster, or what, I don't care what font you use. Okay, and after that, everything else will be something legible. So not like indie flower for the rest of the lab report. Switch back to something legible, like Arial Times New Roman, or like Trebuchet, or something, Trebuchet probably, I don't know. Something that you can read, or I can read rather. 12.5 is fine, you don't need to, I mean, I know I'm old, but 15 or anything higher than 12 is kind of ridiculous, I can read it. Okay, and so what are you going to write? Go back to this, how to write the lab report thing. Here's what you need. A summary of each company, but guess what? You already did that in your engineering notebook. If you open your engineering notebook to either the 26th or 27th, who's got the date on there? Get out your engineering notebook at this time and see where you have that summary written. Remember, for each company you wrote up, like where their headquarters were, what they make, all that goodness. That's what you're going to do for each company. So in my report, I'm going to do that for each company. What was Heska called? Mine was Heska Corporation. So I'll start with Heska. And you're going to do this in a paragraph form. So you might want to be like, Heska Corp is Heska Corporation's headquarters are located, blah, 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 blah. All that goodness, A through F, that you already wrote down in your engineering notebook. So we're not going to spend time doing it now, but that's what you'll do for the report. You kind of write it in a nice paragraph, why you chose the company, what do they make, what are their products. And if you have to pick a different company, you may have to do a little research, but for the most part, you should have at least one in your notebook already, okay? Next thing, you have to include a graph for each company which shows gains and losses over time. And I said here, just copy it from the NASDAQ as I showed you in class or if you do this video. So let's go to the NASDAQ. Click on the NASDAQ, save the A through F part for later. Click on the NASDAQ and type in your company. Mine was Heska. So I would type it in. And I want to know what they've been doing over the past month. So watch me here. I'm going to scroll to the left bar on mine where it says basic chart. Now this chart gives me the whole year. So you have to click the time frame to be within the last month. Once you do that, you can hit update chart and you'll get the last month's chart for your company. Any questions on that? The beauty of this is, look, you don't have to make a chart because it's already there. All you have to do is right click and hit copy image. Oh yeah. Then head over to your report and paste it in there. It should be underneath all your descriptive part of your company. It'll go right into there. Anybody need help with that? Let me slow down.
How do you do that?
I'll push pause. So again, do that for your second company too. And so then you should have your first company with an explanation, A through F stuff from your notebook, a graph, your second company, your explanation, and a graph. Okay. So far we've done the first two things. Next thing is where it gets tricky, because that stuff should have been relatively easy so far, because you're just copying and pasting stuff you already wrote. The next is going to be a summary graph for your total investments, and that's where you need to use your data that you took, every date that you came in and took your percentage and all that stuff. So go to your data, and again, you should have one company, the second company, and then an overall tab. If for some reason you didn't do the overall tab yet, here's a quick review of what you can do for there. You just take the dates that you collected, select them, and copy them right over to here. And then you're just going to take the daily market value for all of your companies and paste it there. The first one might not work. Oops, mine doesn't. So I have to go like this. Let me see. Copy. No. 424-03104. 424-03104. Put it into money. If it doesn't have money, you can just hit that little money sign. Isn't it amazing? Okay. Then for your other company, same thing. You're taking that current value row and just copying it 5625 and pasting it over here. If it says ref, you may have to put it in manually for the first one. Now the D column should be your this plus this. So you can enter formula equals B2 plus C2, and then you can just copy that formula all the way down. You probably have more dates than I have. I was just kind of making up data here. So your data is probably more legit than mine. It doesn't matter if it's bold, all the same or not, but if you need it to be all the same like me, you can fix that. Okay? All right, so this is the data we want to graph. So here we go. Get ready for this. On this overall tab, select all this data except for the last one. So you're selecting from, hold down your mouse. If you don't have a mouse, you can hold down the shift key. And go all the way from A1 to the bottom of your numbers. Mine's C6, but I don't know what yours is. You can either right click and hit insert chart, or you can actually click insert chart. And you'll get, look at that, that's nice. If you like the mountain, you can go with the mountain view, but you can go with this one too. If you hit chart types, if you might want to switch rows and columns, if it's giving you this, you might want to hit that to bring it back to this, only if you have that. Make sure this use row 1 as headers is clicked, because then it will give you the date down here, and it'll give you a title. Now this title isn't really great because it's not current anymore, so I'm going to put SKA and L, my companies, and I'm going to put the dates from, what was it, 10, what was the first day we did it? 10/25, it depends on when you started, to 11/22, I think was Tuesday, correct? Okay. Once you hit enter, that'll change your title there. You can play with the colors if you scroll down a little bit and make your colors different if you don't like these colors. There's one thing missing. I have an X-axis that says date, but I'm missing the Y-axis. So if you, in customization tab, if you scroll down to where it says axes and hit left vertical, you can put in dollars. And then it'll have X and Y labels, and life is good. You can even add more grid lines if you want to, like here where it says grid lines. You can add minor ones too if you want. Whatever makes you happy. You can even change your line thickness. It's kind of ridiculous if it's too fat. It kind of looks cartoony if you get a little crazy. You can even put points in there. You can even make your points hexagonal if you want to. But again, if you make them too big, it looks like you're a kindergartner. So try not to go higher than 7-point font. And again, if you really want to change the colors of your data points, you can. To make them like the lines different colors, you can do that all throughout here. Right. Your title, you can even change your title if you want it to be purple or something. It's up to you. Okay. So play around with that till you get it. Once you get it where you like it, let me make my title a fun color too. Oh, you can even change the background of this. Oh, that's just obnoxious. But you can make it however you want it to be. There we go. Okay, hit insert. What happened?
I don't know. I have like money as both titles.
Okay, so when you hit advanced edit, do you have where it says chart types? Do you have this use row 1 as headers? Clicked.
Yeah.
All right, I'll come on over. Once you've got it where you want it, hit update, and it'll go into your spreadsheet. You can move it out of the way. Just grab it and drag it. To copy it into your project report, you want to hit this little arrow right here and hit copy chart. And then maybe when I get back to my report, I want to put summary of biotech companies. That sounds nice. And then I'm going to paste that bad boy right in there. It's going to ask you if you want to link it to the spreadsheet. That just means if you change the chart here, it'll change also in here. It doesn't matter which one you pick. Just hit paste and it'll go right in there. You can always delete it and do it again later. But for now, let's just do that. Okay. Next, what do? You need to tell me a paragraph about why your company went up and down. Here's the daily news stuff. So if I go back to my first company, I have, remember their explanation, a graph, and then underneath that I want to be like, the graph went up and down because of, and here's where you write your news, your daily news that you've been keeping track of every month. You're telling me why it went up and down. You should have that under here, all the news. This is all made up news because look at did he claim, yeah, well, whatever. Your news is what you're going to be putting in here when you're explaining why your company went up and down. Why did Heska go all the way up like this? Did they release some new clinical trials, or what happened? Was it an election thing, or what went on? Do the same thing for your second company. LaJolla went up because of what? What happened in the company that caused your stocks to go up? Okay. Then you want to tell me what happened overall to the NASDAQ. And that you're going to write underneath this summary. Overall, in the NASDAQ, what did happen in the NASDAQ over the last month? What happened? To like every company almost. Everything went up. Why? Because the election, man, remember? So you're going to talk about the election in there. You're going to talk about world news. What else happened? Anything that could have caused the entire NASDAQ to change. Not just your company, but the world of biotech stocks in general, and all stocks. What happened? So talk about the election. Talk about how everybody had a boom. We were all losing, and then all of a sudden we were winning. Stuff like that in there. Okay? All right. Then you've got part B. What you just did was worth 60 points. Okay? And it's was easy so far. Your first company is worth 20 points. Your second company is worth 20 points. And the summary of both companies in the NASDAQ is another 20 points. So you've got a 60 right now. How do you get 100? Well, let me tell you. This is the last two parts, part B here. So part B says, compare the outcome of your investment to the other students in class. So you have to answer these 3 bullets. I'm actually just going to copy them right into my document. Copy. And put them here, underneath here. And you can call this, let's see.